Hi, this is Jim sending another big howdy from Oklahoma to my fellow EHS classmates of 66. To bypass this prelude and instructions to win a cash prize, just skip ahead about 4 minutes. To all those who donated content, thank you for the privilege to share it with our classmates. I'm honored to be your host on this journey to our yesteryears spanning over a half a century ago and beyond. Some as far back as 1951, as you can imagine that. And even if you can't imagine it, that's where we're going, so jump aboard. Just to squelch any big expectations, let's all keep in mind there are big budget productions, there are B-grade productions, and then there are no budget productions. Guess which one this is. All we're doing here is just sharing a few good times together. Just think of this as a couple hundred of us kids getting together in Larry Johnson's rec room downstairs in his yacht. We've got your favorite pizza, playing ping pong, pool, bowling, and sharing old times. Seriously, little Larry, I thoroughly enjoy vacationing vicariously through your Facebook posts. I really do. So keep them coming and give us more, will you? Part 1 of our class video project was our 2016 EHS Class of 66 Memorial. Part 2 was the 1981 reunion interview excerpts, and here we are at the last segment where our classmates are once again the stars of the show. As you can see, we used to be so cute, didn't we? And then look what happened to us. This is Mrs. Welch's first grade class submitted by Ruth Love, and you can see her at the top left corner if you look real close. And you know Ruthie, she never likes to stand out in the crowd. Others include Debbie Etzett, Bruce Grant, and Cal Malcolm. Now, just to dress this up a little bit and add a little formality, we need a couple of sergeants of arms. And who do we have here but little Sharon Hunt and Doreen Boyle? I wanted to enhance the nostalgic flavor of our class video project with music from our time. But as you may well know, copyright laws strictly forbid that, with fines and even jail time. I had a neighbor's son who was heavily fined for having illegally downloaded thousands of tunes, so it happens. So with the alternative being just nameless elevator music or silence, and at the risk of coming off totally cheesy, I made my own soundtrack of some of the tunes of our time. For those who may wonder how I created these sounds, I'm playing an incredible instrument called a clavinova. As a quick note of interest, it's able to play over 400 instruments or variations thereof, right down to a kazoo. You simply select the instruments, tempo, style you want, and then direct the full orchestra you've just created using chords with your left hand. With your right hand, you select the solo instruments of your choice for the melody, and it's able to record 16 tracks on top of each other so that you can play them all back at one time, and you're only limited by your own imagination. For those interested in even more fun, get this. You have a cash prize awaiting the first person who can correctly name all these old songs in the order they're played. They're my own abbreviated arrangements to enable a larger selection. For each song, TV theme, or commercial jingle, you'll have a song number that comes up in the upper right-hand screen that looks like this. These numbers correlate to the hints shown on the Facebook posts and under the video on YouTube. This is your chance to win a cash prize of 2,500 cents. Okay, that's only $25, but come on. That'll get you a couple great dinners at Rambler's Rest and Painted Post. This is going to be fun, guys. Just email your answers to the address in this post on Facebook and YouTube at thumbsup22aol.com. thumbsup22@aol.com. The deadline is 60 days from this video's post, and I'll present it at a reunion. Yep, that means you have to be present to win. If no one has won it by the reunion event, the 60-day deadline goes to anyone in our class. Hey, it was fun playing these old tunes, and I hope you'll enjoy them too. Okay, who's ready to party? Larry, start the engines, and let's start off by cruising back in time to 1966. Starting off our memory segment of our journey to our yesteryears is Maureen and Leah. They look to be about in 8th grade, would you say? I had to ask myself, why would a beautiful girl like this date a squirrely looking guy with buck teeth? Then I realized, well, it had to have been my sexy haircut. Here is Rhodey in 63, and here she is again in 67. And here she is in 2011 at the 45th reunion. Beautiful lady. Can't believe I lucked out without that flat top, taking producer's prerogative. Here's my wife in her senior year, and then in 83. I can't wait for you all to meet her. This is a Christmas party back at Karen Bryan's in 66. I see John and Gwen and me and Ruthie in the background. You take away Cal Malcolm's drumsticks and it gets all cozy and cuddly. There's Ray and Joni. Dave Cale and Patty Bennett. Rhodey and her date. And John Tamaro and Betsy Sturgeon. You rascal. Marsha Wilcox in 63. And here she is in 67. Beautiful lady. Most don't know my dad paid for Leah's college. Her dad was my family's dentist. Or that may have been Diane Date's dad. My good friend Janie Smith, she and Dorsey came out to Oklahoma to visit me. She's missed. Helen Sundstrom in 65 on a bowling date. Looks like she got about half the pins on that shot. Happy 18th birthday for Karen. A wonderful friend, and missed by many. Karen and Joanne Davis in 67. I built that cake myself. This was an EHS outing at Letchworth State Park. Anybody remember what group that was? Perhaps band? Danny with Joanne Boy. Pat Junquist and Dan Lehman. Now you girls have to stop showing that picture of me on the beach. Don't know what happened there. These are just random shots that I just took out of the yearbook. Sharon, Leah, and Maureen, close friends. I see Patty and Nancy back there. I remember that phone booth. Never had to use it. Wonder what's there now. We'll find out soon. I think that's Linda Decker. This is Helen Sundstrom's performance at the East Corning Operetta with Debbie Davis and Les Langens, among others. My apologies to whoever sent this to me. My software crash has left me with no information, but I do recognize Pam Barton. So it'll be interesting to hear from anyone who's in this picture. Please reference counter number 41.32. Thanks. And here's Linda Mayer's first grade class with her brothers Sheldon and Lyndon, along with Danny Zaban and others. And here's Linda back then, and 11 years later as a senior. Here's my 1960 Sunday school class with us all at about 12 years old, with Dave Cale, Paul Dennis, Pete Wessel, Mike McCartney, Ed Hickey, Larry Huff, Pat Junquist, Patty Bennett, Nancy Jones, Pam Barton, Charlene McCabe, Vicki Schleiss, and Don Brown, and others. An interesting note about this pic is there we were all with smiles, and the old-fashioned photographer says, "This is a serious photo and no one is supposed to be smiling." So we all put our best straight faces on. All but one who knew better, and that was Pat Junquist. And to this day, you rarely see Pat without a smile. I hate to say it, but school cafeteria food has gotten worse. We're going to miss Nancy at this reunion. Wasn't she always a joy? These are all just more random shots straight out of the yearbook. Here's one with Leah. Mike Keeler. There's Norm and John, best buds. There's Joe. Hi, Gretchen. Well, Pat must have something big going on. You know, my wife still uses those curlers to this day. It was Mr. Butcher's 6th grade Northside Blodgett play with Karen Bryan, Debbie Atzett, Catherine Scourin, Doreen Moyle, Tom Stoddard, and more. We lost Tom to suicide that next year. This was a top Cub Scouting award in 1958 to Ed Hickey, Bill Harold Hall, Harold Huff, Tom Smith, and me, and others. This was a 1961 after-school scholastic function at Corning Glassworks with me, Sandy, Mark, Gary back in 7th grade. Having lost some files when my system crashed, as the best I can recall, this is Danny Zaban's 3rd or 4th grade class. You can see where he is under the X. If anyone else recognizes themselves, put a post under this video. Would you let us know? This is a beautiful 1962 picture of a graduating 9th grade class from St. Vincent's. I think about half our class is in this eloquent grouping. Dick Anastasia was president, Joe Bohoy vice president, Teresa Lisi secretary, and Tom Lando treasurer. I believe this to be the same class, only in 1958 or 59. And this is Janie Richards' 1st grade class in 1954 with Mrs. Turner. Along with Janie, you see Pam Barton, Mary Ward, Alice Pratt, Nancy Littleton, Ellen Baker, and Barb Breezy, among others. For those who have not been to a reunion, here's just some of what you've been missing. These are a few of our classmates who attended our 45th reunion. Sisters Ann and Mary Valerio. Husband Dick Lupoid to Nikki Eddy and Dave Montopoli. Corky Sorge and Mark Kuda. Bob Moorhest, Doug Lee, Keith Wheeler, Chris Graham, and Dave Kale. Gail Harrington, Tom Rosie, and Nick Cece. Joan Beecher, Gail Keys, and Jenny Holden. Harry Hall, Sandy Justice, and Chris Graham's wife, Kathy. Mary Valerio, Debbie Seeley, and Marilyn Mason. Nancy Ananides and Keith Wheeler. And there's old Norm Walton, John Lee, with his lovely wife, Ellen. Pat Junquist, again always smiling. And here are a few other classmates that attended our 40th. Jeanette Barrick and husband Dave. Det Roy and husband Paul came out to visit me in Oklahoma. Great friends. Of course, Sandy Tapper. Teresa Lisi and Bill Hall. Tom Potter and his wife. Good old Lucy Tuma and her husband and Ray Bruce. And there's Nick Cece. Joyce Hollenbecker, you're looking good. And Ruth Love. Then there's my old bud John Lee again. Wouldn't he make a great Santa? I mean, seriously. Diane Clark, Jeanette Rarick, and Marsha Wilcox. Once again, those pics were from our 45th and 40th reunions respectively. Wait until you see the ones from our 50th. Well, we made it that far, gang, and that was the easy part. Wasn't it great to be almost carefree during our East High years? This was a long walk, but our parade made it quite a sight from the bleachers for our folks, didn't it? I wonder if they still do these commencements in the stadium. There's Dad and Danny and Linda Mayer and Ruth Love with her wonderful mom. Dad, I gotta tell you, you did such a wonderful job in saving these keepsakes. Thank you for sharing them with us. This is the graduation after party. Ray Bruce and Sharon Lamb, Maureen Murray and Dorsey Lawson, Diane Netzko and Debbie Atzett, and Bruce Grant and his date. It's been a fun journey, guys. So glad we could get together for this cruise down memory lane, and the fun's not over. Aside from the contest, we look forward to you sharing your memories about things you saw in this video and perhaps filling in any blanks. Again, the contest is open to everyone, but priority goes to those present at the reunion. If no one wins at the reunion, it goes to whomever got the best out of 34 songs right first. So give it your best shot. You don't have to know every single song. Wishing you all safe travels to Corning, and we'll see you there soon.